I was a rather busy lad yesterday evening. Between going to that softball game yesterday, watching The Masked Singer, and making 37 jars of pickles, I was completely exhausted. Honestly, pretty solid way to end the month of April. Although I do have a low. I have a low. My low would be, there's still a few more jars of the pickles I gotta fill. I just need to get brine. And by brine, I mean I need to get vinegar from the store. That shouldn't be so hard. I'll be doing that a little bit later. Let's see, what would my high be? Well, you know what my high is? I got done what I need to get done. You know, that softball game, awesome. It was actually, I really got to give us, I'll just, the softball game, Masked Singer, all the jars of pickles I made. I'm feeling pretty good about that. And my act of kindness was, here's the thing. When I was at the softball game, a friend of mine who was there was a cold, and I offered my jacket. I mean, she didn't take the jacket, but that's fine. I mean, the fact I tried, that counts as an act of kindness. So, there is a lot to talk about when it comes to The Masked Singer today, because I kind of half expected them to do this in last week, when I talked about it last week, but I didn't think they would quite do it, where they refer to this episode as the semifinals. How do you have a semifinal with 4 contestants? Now, in order to understand how this semifinals worked, you need to understand how the finals in previous seasons of The Masked Singer worked. Because there have been season finales where there were a top 3. There were also season finales when it was just simply, 2 contestants left. So when they started doing the head-to-head battles, which is what I alluded to that I think they would do a week ago, I really thought they were going to have a double elimination and have 2 contestants in the finale. But no, they were going to have 3. And considering that you have 2 contestants from Group B and 1 of each from Group A and C, I thought it was a really smart way to pair Boogie Woogie and Pearl, who in Group B, together in the first head-to-head battle, and then have Coral and Mad Scientist Monster do the other head-to-head battle. Right away, though, the episode starts off with the group performing a hand clap by Fitz and the Tantrums. Great song. Honestly, for semifinals, at least, I'm sure everyone's a little bit tense. Gotta loosen up a little bit. And then came the first head-to-head battle between Boogie Woogie and Pearl. Boogie Woogie did Maps by Maroon 5. But, yeah, I knew Pearl was one of the contenders going into this episode, and she proved it by doing You Don't Own Me by Leslie Gore, which, I mean, listen, that song's probably, like, decades old. I couldn't tell you how old it is. But 2025, that song being sung by a strong, powerful woman, whoever Pearl is, like, yeah, Boogie Woogie had no chance. And now we get into the other head-to-head battle, because I'm just going to say I did not like the result of this. I really didn't. I mean, like, I want to make one thing clear. Sometimes the good folks of over at The Masked Singer like to post preview clips on YouTube for what the next episode is going to entail. And they normally don't do that unless they know the performance is like going to be so good. Like, we gotta let the people know early to have them watch it. And the preview before this episode was Coral singing Billie Eilish's "What Was I Made For?" I believe that was the song for the Barbie movie. And normally I don't listen to these songs because I'd rather not get spoiled. But considering that I think it's going to be Coral and Pearl as the final two, I'm like, you know what? I don't think seeing Coral perform this song is going to ruin the actual experience when I see the episode later. So I watch it and like, okay, seriously, how is Coral not going to make it to the finale? Like, how? So she does Billie Eilish's "What Was I Made For?" And then Mad Scientist Monster did the bar song "Tipsy" by Shaboozey. And this is where I really didn't care for what happened next, because I'm sorry, Mad Scientist Monster, you got mad skills. You are not Coral. You are not even remotely Coral. Like, again, I mean, I get that Pearl and Coral are kind of like sea-themed and they don't want to have anything like that in the finale. But still, you pick the better singer to go to the finale. Meanwhile, the other two singers go to the SmackDown. Coral had no business being anywhere near that SmackDown. Coral was the better. I could have made the case Coral was the best singer that night. Maybe they wanted to do like a boy versus girl thing in the finale. Oh, I say that, but the finale was clearly going to have 3 contestants. Because I mentioned the SmackDown. There's going to be SmackDown between Boogie Woogie and Coral. And to the credit of what happened, we get to hear more of Coral singing. She did "Suddenly I See" by KT Tunstall, which, man, I haven't heard that song in forever. I forgot how positive and upbeat that song is. I'm going to listen to it again later. And then Boogie Wood. This is also where I got nervous because because I really thought Mad Scientist Monster was the weak link against all 4 singers, which, again, how did Mad Scientist Monster not have to go to the SmackDown? But whatever. Boogie Woogie does "Are You Gonna Be My Girl" by Jet. Which, man, that's definitely an early 2000s song if I ever heard one, man. Like, that was like middle school for me. Oh man, it took me back. So the SmackDown ends, and in a surprise twist, Lucky Duck appears. Yeah, I haven't really talked about Lucky Duck very much this season because I really want to focus on the actual singing part of The Masked Singer, which is what all the other contestants I've mentioned up to this point have done. Lucky Duck is kind of like what Cloodle Doo was a few years ago, where, you have obviously a celebrity in a mask, and they're revealing clues about other, contestants throughout the season. So, in a surprise twist of fate, Lucky Duck appears and brings back the Ding Dong Keep It On bell, making both Coral and Boogie Woogie safe. So, if they're both safe, who's going to get unmasked? Lucky Duck himself. Which, okay, before I get into who this person is, I want to make one thing clear. Like, at this point, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can tell if someone's naturally singing or if they're like good or bad or whatever. But don't do a pre-recording of a song from Freddie Mercury, because not a soul can ever recreate his sound. The song was "I Want to Break Free" by, Queen. And, listen, I'm a tenor. My voice can go pretty high. I dare say, on several occasions, I am maybe, at best, 1/10 of what Freddie Mercury can do. And I actually fancy myself a pretty decent singer. But if you're going to be on The Masked Singer, if you're going to, don't do a pre-recording. Because we're really not going to believe it's you. Be real. Be, genuine. Use your own singing voice, please. That's all I ask. Listen, you're wearing a mask. It doesn't matter what you sound like. Oh, okay, it does matter a little bit. But you're wearing a mask. Trust me, a lot more people are going to care about what your costume looks like than your actual voice. Unless you're somebody like me who actually knows a thing or two about singing. With that said, it was a rather heartwarming twist at the end when Lucky Duck turned out to be Rita Ora's husband, actor and director Taika Waititi. And I love Taika's answer of how did you what made you decide you want to do it? Well, I mean, never really get an opportunity. He's like, I never get an opportunity to do this, and not to mention, my wife never could have figured out it was me because she's never home. Because she's too busy working at The Masked Singer. That's just both heartwarming and funny. I mean, Taika Waititi's a cool guy. He is. Listen, what I said earlier, I was just talking about from the perspective of what The Masked Singer stands for and represents. I have no ill will towards the actual person doing the person underneath the mask, regardless of whatever they do. It's just, again, it's The Masked Singer. Just sing. There's no way your voice is going to sound that horrible. I mean, listen, we had Honey Boo Boo and her mom on the show before. You can't be any worse than them, okay? Or Kevin Hart, or, again, there's no way you're going to be that bad. Well, you shouldn't be. So, yeah. For the first time in Masked Singer history, we have a finale consisting of... Actually, hold on. Yeah. 4 contestants in the finale. We've never had that before. I mean, we've had 2 in the finale, we've had 3 in the finale. We never had 4, though. So, it's Pearl, Boogie Woogie, Coral, and Mad Scientist Monster in the finale. 2-hour Lucky Season 13 finale, by the way. It's going to be a long night for me, let me tell you what. What do I personally think? Well, again, I think Pearl and Coral are the 2 best singers of this season by far, with Boogie Woogie right up there. I don't know what people were thinking going Mad Scientist. I mean, listen, it's not that his performance was bad. It's just, come on, man, Coral's was better. Coral's was better in every single way. And you know what? Because, listen, I don't know who's underneath any of the masks. I really don't. However, throughout this whole season, anytime I've watched Coral, there's a fire in there. There's so much power and electricity in that voice that I can't not ignore. Or that I can't ignore, I mean. Sorry, double negative there. I'm thinking Coral is going to take what happened in last night's episode, and we're going to be in for probably one of the greatest performances ever. I truly do believe that. I mean, again, in fact, you know what? Unfortunately, I really never know how the audience works because they're the ones that ultimately decide who wins. And then it's like the judges that kind of make the decision at the end. So I really don't know different audience, different day. I know that. So it's hard to really gauge and make an accurate, bold prediction who I think is going to win. I mean, again, both Coral and Pearl have proven to be the most consistent. Meanwhile, Boogie Woogie has stepped everything up in a way that makes him a genuine threat. I would not be surprised if Mad Scientist Monster winds up like the California roll, knocking off Coral, and then Coral is the one who winds up. It's just like what happened in season 9. Like Medusa had to go up against California roll in the Battle Royale, but it's 5-on-1. Obviously Medusa wasn't going to win, but she fought back. And she won the whole season. Shot to Bishop Briggs. I think Coral's going to do the same thing. I think it's going to be Coral versus Pearl in like the final 2. They're going to be the last 2 standing. And for I forget how long it's been since this happened. I think maybe since season 11, a woman is going to win the Masked Singer. Listen, I can't predict who exactly is going to win. I can at least predict the gender. So, yes, I do think a woman is going to win this season of The Masked Singer. What do you guys think? I hope you like this video. If you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. On social media, as always, I'm here helping this video for you guys watching your video. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. And remember, if you guys want to talk, channel will be here to lend you always your back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.